Welcome back. The score is now 1-1 in this grand finals between Shopify Rebellion and FlyQuest Red to the Verizon VALORANT Game Changers North America Series 2. Dare you to say that 10 times fast, Mimi. The score is now 1-1. That is the important thing here. We saw after FlyQuest Red had an amazing map number 1. You know, we were briefly talking about it. Can we see FlyQuest Red take this away? But no, Shopify with a resounding performance on this map on Ascent, Mimi.
Yeah, they looked way better. I mean, a lovely defensive side. I saw a lot of moments where this could have gotten away from them. That round where Sonder is pulling off the craziest timing of all time, there was quite a few moments where there was opportunities for Fly to get momentum, but we saw a much more normal Shopify where they've come back in with some good calls. I think they had a few rounds like what you were seeing earlier for that aggressive A main control where they did vary the pace and they gave themselves super strong control that they followed up with a pistol round win and a pretty clean attack side here, dominated by a great performance from Fluorescent.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as well in that second half too. You know, winning the pistol, getting a nice clean anti-eco, that sort of momentum is able to carry you really, really far against a team who actually feels kind of desperate in those types of situations. So a fantastic map from Shopify, and it's definitely going to be a lot harder now for FlyQuest to come all the way through. Now that Shopify feels like they've gotten the grasp on the series back in this early on in this best of 5.
Yeah, critically too, Mel had a way better performance in this one. I think she was doing a lot as an anchor, and also the calls. It felt like for the first time this series, Shopify was actually ahead in that regard, reading where their opponents were going to go, having really fast defense-sided rotation. Alexis seemed to always be in the right spot to set Floor up on that flash line, get her forward in this one, which are huge pieces to be starting to perform at their normal level as we get deeper into this BO5.
Yeah, it's a frustrating map to play too for Fly, starting on that attack and really getting shut down pretty much immediately outside of the pistol, right? Really not being able to find a way onto any of those sites, especially B, where they tried many times to go into that Odin of Sarah, and yeah, it's just really frustrating in those instances where the map control aspects, the defaults aren't working, and then you try to slam a site and it just feels like nothing actually pans out for the team.
Yeah, I feel like if Lotus became the highlight reel for Lace, especially towards the end, we saw Fluorescent once again showing why she has been the best player. She has been that star player for the side of Shopify Rebellion, as she had an outstanding performance on Ascent meeting.
Yeah, so many good moments from Floor. The attacking sided rounds where she was just going for these super deep plays, right? Updrafting onto Jet, then immediately fighting into heaven. Just classic Fluorescent stuff, but that's what you need for SR to win another one of these tournaments. This round was great. She immediately follows it up with another forward play. Is even being full held there by the Sova, and I mean a little bit of whippage with the rest of those kills are just stunning stuff from her.
Yeah, I think the Knives play is insane from Floor, specifically on this map. I mean, yeah, you see it every time that she had her ults out. You got to kill, and more, almost 2 kills from that. It's ridiculous. You don't see that sort of level from other players, honestly, when you actually look at that stat for other Jets. It's well below 100%. Only Demon 1 is actually up there in that regard. And so yeah, Floor puts herself up there, and you consistently see this type of performance from her on Ascent. The problem for Fly is it shuts down all of the momentum, all of the Lace momentum that we had from last map, the Dodo Nut excitement that we had from last map. It kind of goes out the window in this situation.
I think also Floor playing like this is so huge because we're heading into Icebox next in this series, which is a map where Shopify is going to be locking in a comp with the Jet. They're one of the teams that is stuck to their guns on that one. So I think she can roll a lot of the same strength she had when you're playing on defense of this map, which is where SR is going to be starting. You're really looking for those forward fights towards A, getting active on top of 410, over towards the rafters, areas like that to get these openers, and also taking some risks with the blades, with the off when you can get that online. That's huge for SR.
Indeed, knowing that the score is 1-1 right now, Bala, we've seen how the side of FlyQuest Red, how well they can perform. We saw that on Lotus. The score speaks for itself, 13-5, but we also obviously saw what Shopify can look like. We saw that on Ascent. Now heading into this third map, what would you like to see from the side of FlyQuest to make this a continual competitive series?
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at two pretty decent stomps from both sides there, right? I need to see Thea continue to play the way she's playing, which is good, and also call the way she's calling, which is also good. But they need to be able to back it up with actually breaking through on the game plan and the ideas that she's bringing to the table. And on Icebox, I think that they have a chance with the Gecko that they have. They don't have the double punch that a lot of teams are running in the compositions with the KO and the Gecko, but I think that the way that they work with the Sage, recently added, as you heard in the interview yesterday, is actually working quite well on this map.
They're also playing the Gecko Sova too, so you are giving up that direct combo with the KO, but I think you can do a lot of the same things with well-timed utility to coordinate through. We've seen a lot of VCT teams start to pick this comp up. Shopify, though, is more of a question mark. They've only played this map once thus far in this run of GC against Floppers a little earlier on. That was a 13-3 dominant win. They'll go back to that same comp, but there's not like there's a ton of tape or anything out there on how SR plays this one.
Yeah, I think as well. I hate to keep bringing it back to the experience here, but these best of 5 series, FlyQuest played one yesterday, but playing 2 days in a row where a lot of tape has been shown is quite difficult. And for Shopify, who Alexis and Mel have they played almost 50 series in Game Changers, right? They're 43-2, and these long series are why it's so difficult to beat them, because they get so much value out of not only the stamina that they have, but then also the ways that they're able to pick apart at teams over time. So here you have this Viper Harbor comp that is kind of rare these days in the meta, right? There are definitely a few teams playing it, but Shopify trying to play it to perfection, and on this map in particular, I think we haven't seen it much. Let's see how it actually plays out in the grand finals.
Biggest win condition here for the side of FlyQuest, I think, is shutting down Floor early. If she is getting opening kills the way she was on the defensive side of Ascent, if she's able to keep control of A, they are going to be able to snowball this one again for Shopify. So this is really the point where FlyQuest have to arrest the fall from Ascent.
Well, we are ready to get map number 3 underway on Icebox, so let's go ahead and get this action started with Doug and Baby Babe.
Excellent idea, Sue. I think we will get this action started, and what better place than Icebox to see how the rest of this series pans out. I think the devs put it together so eloquently and so beautifully. I do want to go back to something that Bala said, though. As he said, I hate to bring it back to experience, but bring it back to experience, and I think he's absolutely right. Man, I think when you've gone through as many series as they have, and when you've played 45 GC series just amongst 2 of your players, you're going to have the leg up. You're going to have it in a best of 5 situation like this. I think you have to find a way to slow down Floor, though. And Dre, you asked a really good question as the devs was talking about that. The question is how? How do you do that? I mean, that's such a difficult thing to solve.
It's going to be tough, especially when you're running a comp like this. Like, if you can't find that answer, I mean, you're basically screwed. So
Right.
They're going to have to figure out whatever they can do. And a big success that they had was this AD fault and not dropping early in their previous series against Passion Project. So if they're able to emulate that against a Floor who absolutely just went nuclear on the last map, then they have a pretty good chance, I would say, of at least winning the initial exchanges and playing to their composition. That's a great entry from Sonder.
Yeah, they attempted to slow down the round with the spit, but Mel falls. They continue to push their way forward, and they flooded back site. No area is safe. Ooh, Alexis just got dinked too. 3 HP left. Forced to sit back and watch as the rest of their teammates are kept back even further by the wall.
Such an interesting game plan for FlyQuest of not getting the bomb down right away and just kind of holding it.
Yeah, for holding to take the fights, and I mean, it's working out for them.
Yeah.
So many of the members that remain are weak, but Alexis still finding a little bit of value, keeping things interesting, keeping them competitive. A 2v3 still the way of FlyQuest, and it's not getting much easier. Floor in 1v2, tell me if you've seen this before. Another opportunity for the Star to go ballistic and to clutch out a round that they probably shouldn't have won, but I really like a FlyQuest playing it with the exception of what Star Bound almost just did there. It's gotten down to ones, but time is so short. Thea's discipline here is gorgeous. It's beautiful. Not giving her the fight, securing the pistol.
Yeah, we asked, how are FlyQuest going to do it? How are you going to shut down Floor? And sometimes it's just not swinging it at all. Sometimes that's all you got to do. And these A hits from FlyQuest, they're so rehearsed. They're so dialed in. I mean, even when they are up I mean, even when it's even numbers, it looks beautiful and it looks clean. If they're up numbers, I mean, it's just too hard to hold that backside at all. You just get crunched like the way that just happened.
And so into the next we go, an Outlaw, a couple of Bulldogs. There's some buy on the side of FlyQuest. I think the bigger question is, how does that stack into the next ever pivotal bonus?
Yeah. 100%. FlyQuest, they have to be so wary because of this harbor wall. So we're already seeing the harbor have a lot of impact, baiting out an early drone that could set up Shopify to have A fights later in the half. And that's truly going to be it. It's going to be, can Floor take over on this A side of the map? Can she stop this full rolling train that is FlyQuest on the A side? So far, there's exchanges going all around.
Uh-oh. This has, again, gotten way messier than it should have. Way messier than intended. They still have the Outlaw. They still have the Bulldog. They've gotten the spike down. 2 classics remain on the side of Shopify Rebellion.
The problem is I don't think they're aware that Mel is on this flank. That turret didn't spot anything. Lace half clears it. Mel has a great opportunity here on the flank.
Choosing not to right-click, the Outlaw will land on Mel. Only 1 target left. Noya spotted, just barely missing its mark. Off the swing, having to go aggressive, switching to the Bulldog. Noya will call this, will challenge it, but Starbound wins it out. Again, messy, not pretty, but it works.
I mean, the exchanges on the site, it was just left and right. It was chaotic. It was crazy. I mean, it looked so good at first for the side of FlyQuest, but then this little jump dash and the wraparound from Mel, that turret doesn't hold the actual B main flank. So let's see if FlyQuest are aware of that. Let's see if Starbound is aware that that turret doesn't actually hold the B main area of the map, because if that happens on an important round, like a gun round, or, I mean, honestly, if they converted that round,
yeah, I mean, that was almost important.
Yeah, exactly. This would be a whole different story, right? So,
well, and honestly, even they won the round, sure, but think about what they had invested into that previous round. This is a shell of the power that they should have had, assuming that last round went cleanly.
And that's why you see this awkward little mid fight here, the mid walk up, trying to see if this Outlaw can get any value. It's definitely not the ideal game plan for them right now.
No, not even close. Again, still feeling the effects of the messiness that was round 2.
Also allows Florida to invest into her own Outlaw, which is going to be so good in a round like this. Everybody's sitting on light armor for the most part. Only Starbound and Saunders sitting at full. So if Floor gets in contact with any other remaining members of FlyQuest, it should be easy pick'ems. This head-to-head. Oh, doesn't quite happen. Somehow that Gecko Flash doesn't connect. That'll open up the kill.
No safe passage on the ropes. No safe passage into the site. Floor drops another, takes a step back and reloads. Meanwhile, the spike was denied. It's going to have to be Sonder committing to it. With Wingman no longer a part of the equation. Again, the swing back side. Shopify keep every single thing out. Nowhere for them to go. Jump scare there at the end, but Shopify are on the board.
Yeah. Floor going for a no-scope from the top ropes. Doesn't connect this time, but has the knives online, primed and ready going into this first gun round of FlyQuest. It was clean. You said it. You said it perfectly. Denying the bomb plant, getting the first bloods, and then just flooding out together. This Harbor comp could be so good on the retake. You have infinite walls, it feels like, separating the retake from the defenders of the post plant. Another early A main default from the side of FlyQuest. In response, is Shopify doing a walk-up B main. Thea, a lot rest on her hands right now. She gets taken out by Mel.
All of that pressure that you were mentioning is just a bit too much for Thea to deal with.
Yeah, and now you're forced to speed up into A, but Shopify, they're playing for this. So this is prep from the side of Shopify, understanding that FlyQuest love to do this A default and love to put Thea on an island towards that B, outside of B area. And now they're able to have a 5v4 retake with an upgraded gun on the side of it.
She will attempt to direct the troops from afar as Fluorescent goes up top. Donut's lit up. The blades don't land. Just barely missing. Grazing by the intended targets, but now Shopify can turn full attention towards this retake attempt as Floor gets destroyed. We missed how it happened, but a 4v4 now as Donut holds the line, tries to control the spam, and does connect onto Mel. Oh, it's just that easy. When you get Thrash involved like that, it doesn't get any easier. FlyQuest get their third.
Yeah, Donut barely escaping the grasp of Floor there in that moment with those jet knives. Floor just couldn't get it together, couldn't keep the aim stable from that updraft. But the movement from Floor in that retake was so clean, landing on top of the heaven ledge there. It was just too much of an ask when FlyQuest, they just set up in these post plants. And yeah, the last map that they played, they went 4 and 8. But remember, the map previous on that Lotus, I think they were 7 and 9 on post plants or something of the sort. So their post plant game is strong. That's what I'm alluding to. If they get that bomb down, it can be so hard. And now we see a change of pace. That A default for the first 4 rounds. Now we're heading towards B. We're giving a B look for the first time. And I think that's just a heads up play, understanding that there's an operator online right now from the side of Floor.
Doesn't look like it's going to get challenged. At least not anytime soon. FlyQuest, a 3-1-1, a slow lean towards B with the spike. And you imagine Alexis will drop some utility here very shortly to try to deny this wall goes up. There it is. A little bit later, the spam through the wall as it breaks. Sonder dropping right into pain. Attempting to get healed up at least a little bit of Sarah investing the ult. Sonder on the swing. Mel will fall, but it's traded right back. Again, the spike's still not planted. Starbound's going creeping through too, but they were not quiet about it. They should have heard where Starbound was going. Yeah. Noya a step ahead of it. Seeing through walls and numbers the way of Shopify. And it's only getting worse as Floor again gets active. The swing through from Thea gets hers, but it doesn't matter. Shopify will get another.
Nasty shots from Floor. Once more. Those op shots so fast. Even that first one, just seeing it, an arm? And it was scrappy, it was crazy, but Shopify denied the plant for so long that it gave the opportunity to just get grouped up together, clear out the kitchen player, open up the ability for Floor to excel in that moment. And when Floor gets online like that with the operator, it can feel so hard to break through on the attacking side. So let's see what FlyQuest does in response. It looks like another B main default. And if they don't see the operator up close like this, it should be the cue that Floor is around either mid or A.
She is A. Oh, that's so tough, man. You're on an island there.
Yeah, what a great pincer. That was beautiful. So much utility, but now we're freezing into the round. And this might buy time for Shopify to creep their way back in, get the rotates in.
Yeah, but if Starbound's able to take some space on the other side, that's ideal. They invested the drone out from Sarah, so that's some utility gone. Keep a close eye on that late timing. The problem is, it's just a Marshall. Meanwhile, the spike did get planted B. And you've only got 2 members of Shopify that are left, both playing back towards Snowman. Floor's dash away and attempt to save the op at this point is probably the best part of the formula, the most pivotal one if they can hang on to it. Starbound not able to keep contain. And so Shopify will survive with the 2 weapons that they have, but the round will go the way of FlyQuest. That was a beautiful call.
That was so sick as well. Like the call to fight, the call to wall off Snowman and then fight into sight, into backside even, like towards mid, with the Hunter's Fury online as well. I haven't really seen, I don't think any team do something like that. That was such a unique fight. And maybe that's prep on FlyQuest's behalf as well. Because maybe they just understand that Shopify, when they get pushed back, when Mel falls early, that Noya likes to play in that little mid area, almost towards like the bottom of kitchen. That was so clean. It just looked beautiful on the map how they fought together. And we've criticized a lot of teams in NA VCT for trying to fight back.
No, not me. I don't do that. That's just you.
Oh yeah, okay, buddy. So apparently I've been the only one that criticized teams that fight backside B because, man, they just look so out of sync and uncoordinated. And these are VCT teams, but FlyQuest, they looked really good on that fight. They fought as a unit. They were cohesive. They were decisive.
It's like this lower bracket run has become their hyperbolic time chamber. Yeah. And they've walked away from it a different team. I mean, they look good on Lotus. They look good on Icebox. Yeah, let's kind of forget about Ascent here. Because you expect teams to crumble after a beating like they took on Ascent, where Floor was online and doing her thing.
Yeah.
But FlyQuest, they look really good, man. They've invested the lockdown with a pit on the other side, so that's going to funnel that out. Mel might be able to tug right back out and then back into it to keep that thing up. Yeah, it's not going to get any better. Now they have the Reckoning. They're going to have to try to figure out how they navigate. This is going to be really tough for FlyQuest. Floor's already finding a little bit of value on a Dodo Nut. Thrash could be big, though. There's just not enough to clear this pit out. They don't really have a ton of lineups. There's just Sonder who has, well, Sonder who had the Mosh Pit. Lace doesn't have shocks. There's no spit. There's nothing. But they've somehow gotten it this far. Mel is so weak. Ping on! Starbound hits a ridiculous shot. 3 on the round as FlyQuest get 5.
Another insane post plant. Starbound coming up huge in heaven. And Thea getting that kill on Noya. That was also really big impact. That opened up everything else to happen for Starbound. When FlyQuest get this bomb planted, when they get the spike planted, it's just too hard to retake into. And Shopify, they had all the space, they had all the room in the world to work with because of that Viper's Pit. And I thought it was a little bit of a blunder at first from Starbound using that Killjoy ult on pipes. I feel like around 410 would have guaranteed that the Viper is outside of the pit and that pit falls. But I guess they just don't even care. They're just like, all right, you could have all that space. We're just going to play the spam game and the utility game. Another thrash on the post plant from Sonder as well. Yeah, it doesn't connect on anybody, but it gives peace of mind. It's just nicely set up.
Yeah, a piece of peace of mind, and creates space too. And I think that's what ended up being so pivotal, because as you mentioned it at the beginning, that round was all about space, right? And all of the space that Mel was able to get with ult, but all that real estate went back the way of FlyQuest, and it was ultimately the most prized part was how Starbound was able to play from back pipe. So just a gorgeous round from FlyQuest. You mentioned it a couple of times. The post plant efficacy that FlyQuest bring into this is just absurd.
Yeah, they're so proficient once they get the spike planted, and also they've been so proficient at dodging the operator from Floor. I don't know if you kept track of that, but I think almost every single round, as I'm talking about Floor gets her head taken off by Starbound. But yeah, they've dodged Floor for the most part on this side, on this half.
Oh, they sent Wingman on a solo mission. Fortunately, you've got all the guns pushing up around it, reinforced. And so Wingman should get the spike down, but it doesn't really matter. It's a flawless round the way of FlyQuest.
One of the most fast, flawless rounds I think we've seen in this tournament so far. It's just a firing range, a little aim labs battle for everybody towards the A side of FlyQuest. They didn't even really need the utility to follow up. Nevertheless, there was some there. And let's see again if the IGLing from Thea, if she opts to dodge the operator of Floor once more, because yeah, I mean you can feel it. Yeah, Floor's still sitting at 11 kills, and most of the kills have come in like the mid to late round, which it's not easy to do, by the way. A lot of operators, they tend to thrive in the beginning of rounds. They tend to thrive on aggressive picks to be able to have the control and the discipline and the patience to get kills in the mid round. That's why Floor is such a great player.
Right here.
Narrow time to the mist across the middle of the map. Floor's not going to lose that fight. Not that time.
Will not kill my allies.
There's the
Very
res
nice timing on the swing, and yeah, the res invested brings Sonder back into the fold.
My Sage could be so good on Icebox. Yeah, you drop early, but it doesn't even matter. Now this will cause a reposition or FlyQuest. They understand that the operator was towards that A side of the map, but Shopify are a step ahead right now. Already leaning towards this B site, so this plant, it'll be hard to get this one down, Doug.
Well, they have a couple of options here. Sonder, one away from the ult. And with Wingman still in play. But Starbound's already dead. So that now Sonder has the Thrash. They're going to have to respect this lockdown, though. Yeah, another one. That's ridiculous. You're right. Look at Floor filling in on that space that the lockdown created with a hit on the other side. Every single member lit up. Theo will fall. Now the Thrash invested. Tagging. Oh, I thought it hit all three. But Sarah was the safety valve. Ah, that could have been so messy.
That was almost a ridiculous Thrash from the side of Sonder. That could have been disaster. But a nice setup from Shopify. Setting up Floor with the drone in the mid round, Sarah. And then Fluorescent peeking off of it. And then even at the end there, Fluorescent getting on that yellow area, dropping down. Yeah, the shots don't quite connect, but that's so much space gathered. And there was no other place for FlyQuest to play in. They were all stuck in the back of yellow, in the back of B long right there.
Oh, keep an eye on what's going on here. Floor isn't the one with the op. It's actually Noya, who's back A. And I don't think they have enough money to be able to buy two here. So what's the plan? What's the play here for Shopify?
I like it. I think the whole goal is to show Floor early on and kind of funnel players into that operator. It's kind of like what I was talking about on Ascent, which is what I thought that Shopify was going to set up on that defensive side. They didn't need to, but now they're doing it on this map. The wall will dissuade any type of off shot being made here. Floor gets taken out by Thea in mid.
Alexis was there on the trade, though, so Thea will fall.
Spike planted.
The spike goes down. Sonder already almost halfway to having another ult online. Just used it in the last round, by the way.
And that's the thing, though, right? The spike went down, and you just can't help but feel like FlyQuest are going to win this round. But as I say that, I don't know how Sarah got that kill. Onto Sonder.
This Harbor utility so nice. The opshot's not going to connect, but they've invested the Cove. Flowdonut has to push it, but Alexis got it to half. Can Donut hold the line with 70 HP, spamming down on Noya, dropping her. Sarah's left all alone. Sarah will fall. 3 on the round for Donut as FlyQuest get to 7.
Holding the line. I mean, moving the line, Doug. What was that? It's just getting hit by Hunter's Fury. No F's given. I mean, the first one to entry the site. First one to go kill the bomb planter, or the bomb diffuser. Not bad. And then the follow-up. This kill at the end. That's ridiculous onto Sarah. The thinnest of margins right there. That little window. So insane.
A massive round from Donut.
7-3 half, Doug.
Yeah, and I mean, it might get worse. And look at the buy for Shopify.
I mean, look at this utility. It's just so hard to get an entry, but leave it up to Floor.
I mean, the exact same idea onto the exact same target.
Jeez.
This time there were a couple to choose from. Unlucky for Sonder.
It's so hard to hit that shot when you peek and you see multiple targets. To be that focused, to pick the right one. That's where a lot of the duelists fall off. Floor giving her team a chance in this round.
A lot of presence from Shopify back A. The problem is there's nothing else going on the map for FlyQuest to have a decent idea of what's happening. So they're going to push right into the teeth of this. And yeah, they have the superior weaponry, but Shopify have shown that it doesn't really matter. But this time, all of them crumble. 3 fall, the site wide open. You've got 2 who are coming in on the flank. It's Mel and Alexis, the most decorated duo in Game Changers. But it seems like they will meet a similar fate.
Shortly here, Thea cleans it up. I think Mel, I don't know what happened right there, just caught with her knife out on the flank. I don't know if you caught that. It's a little interesting. I wonder if something happened. That was that entry from Floor. It seemed like it was all great. It was all fun and games at first, but this A execute from FlyQuest, it's the same one almost every single time, but it's just so hard to play in the site.
It ain't broke.
Yeah, you kind of have to like play out, because if you play backside, you just get smothered by utility. You see the Killjoy mollies, Gecko molly, Gecko flash. Yeah, the Gecko was taken out early in that case, but still, so much follow-up utility and that Sage Wall to isolate everybody in the back of sight. It's so hard to hold. You kind of have to play a retake flood style against it.
Alexis just got the Orb B main for free, so now has the Reckoning to invest. You're mentioning how good this A hit has been for FlyQuest. Even have the lockdown to clear things out more.
Yeah, this is the aggressive lockdown as well. Wingman goes down early, but it's not going to matter. This bomb should be planted regardless. I imagine we're going to see a fast flood into this round, but that Viper Orb, which you can only drop once, that should be enough to delay this Harbor ult, potentially.
Oh, that Reckoning will be a problem. They continue to try to funnel out on the other side of it. They are dancing around the wisps and trying to stay alive.
How?
Somehow managing to get away from it and still swing out. But Mel was waiting on the other side. Floor finding value at the off. FlyQuest trying to keep the line up. Dodo Nut gets 2 massive kills. It's on Alexis and Floor now. An op switched over to a Vandal. In general, supposed to be steadier weaponry, but Dodo Nut with 3 continues to be a problem. Continues to cause fits. Alexis has to clutch us out at 1v2, and time is just not on her side. Gets 1, but Starbound will easily swing into it. Die, but the round the way of FlyQuest.
Another post-plant conversion for FlyQuest.
Switching sides.
And yeah, Alexis, some nice shots there at the end. But I mean, the time just running down way too low. Again in the chaos. Dodo Nut doing massive things. Look at this. And then living even at the end there.
Enemy remaining.
Looking for long enough for Starbound to just sit heaven and peek out late there, clean it up. That is so wonderful. It's the 1-2 punch, the entry of Dodo Nut, and the closing out the rounds for Starbound. That was the success for FlyQuest in that attack half. A 9-3 win.
Bookended brilliance. I think too for Starbound, they're obviously 13-7. They're popping off doing their thing, but even having the patience, that's 2 situations there that we saw where they were really steady on the swing, not giving everything early, playing time, which is so hard to do when pressure's at its greatest. But Shopify now on attack, down massive here on Icebox Dre.
Yeah, they're down massive, and Flora is going to have to bring this one back to the side of Shopify if they want to have a chance in making at least a resemblance of a comeback in this half.
Does not look like they're going to be able to clear out that alarm bot. So still in play from Starbound. No real aggression on the side of FlyQuest either. Yeah, happy to wait. Happy to let the round come to them.
Yeah, that beeline is just still gained from FlyQuest. Now Mel pushing off that line. That allows for a rotation to be made. So this 4-1 is actually working in the way of Shopify right now. Mel doing a really good call, but how is the execute?
Oh, that's going to contact so hard.
Jeez.
Yeah, both. I mean, they never really had a shot. They were lulled to sleep.
And then if you look at the B side of the map on the mini map, Mel's all the way through on flank. And FlyQuest kind of have an idea, but still, when is Mel going to strike?
Right now. Lace falls. They and Starbound haven't been able to do much of anything in this round. I mean, you think about how things opened up, their team members crumbling around them, and now Mel striking from behind. And there's such a miserable thing that they're going to have to solve here, and it's really on to Starbound to solve it now.
Yeah. Absolutely impossible to win that round for FlyQuest. They were put in such a bad spot because of the IG yelling of Mel. That was such a good pistol round call. Contacting up mid, going back A, doing another contact here. 1-2 punch. The late lurk. Oh man, it's just textbook at that point. And it looks like the aim was not even there for the side of FlyQuest after the round. They just experienced so much going through their head.
Overtake them.
So at best, Shopify will get to 5-9 before things get really messy. Very nicely done. You thought it was going to be the utility that left right, but it was Floor who delivers the knockout punch onto Sonder.
Yeah, that follow-up was beautiful.
Again, a creep in the garage. It doesn't matter. Thea falls. It's another round that, I mean, is over almost as soon as it started.
It felt just like that round that FlyQuest won on their anti-eco, where they just killed everybody at A. This time, yeah, there was somebody towards B, but it didn't matter regardless. And Floor, almost sitting at 20 kills. Looking at as online as ever. Even with being down 9-3 in that last half. Stepping up huge in these last 2 rounds. Getting the entry on the pistol round. Getting the entry again on the anti-eco. And now for the bonus. Who knows what we have in store.
Early dart cleared out. That alarm bot still mid and a turret over the top. Meanwhile, the spam peppering Mel. Just a couple of tags make you think twice about it. I didn't even see the shot. I saw that one. Lace didn't.
Oh my gosh.
Good night, Floor is good.
Oh my gosh, Floor is doing it again. Floor is doing it again, Doug. Right now for FlyQuest, you need a timeout. Jovi needs to call timeout. If you cannot bring this round back, which should be so hard to do in a 5v3, Thea has to go above and beyond here. Maybe get an ace.
Yeah, but this is a one and done.
Yep.
Yeah. At best you get Floor, but there's no way you keep back.
Can't get more.
And so Shopify will stroll their way onto B with very little resistance. The one stumbling block that was in their way got dismissed and disposed of almost instantly. And now Donut and Sonder, and do you save here?
I feel like you kind of have to. The guns are too good from the side of Shopify. I guess if Shopify gives a couple kills into this round, maybe you have a chance. But yeah, there's
no way they give any of that. Yeah, I mean, the discipline that you would expect out from Shopify is just too great. They don't give them any ones. They're cautious in how they approach a situation. FlyQuest dropped both of the rifles there. So now they're on this miserably broken buy. The bonus the way of Shopify. Dre, this could easily flip back.
Yeah, and on top of all that, upgrades as well. Yeah, that shot was disgusting. That's the one and done that we mentioned earlier. And then going for this in a 2v4 when there's still so much utility on the battlefield for the side of Shopify, I feel like that's a big that was a big blunder from the side of FlyQuest. I'm sure they would have loved to have those guns going into this next round. Maybe you have a chance at that point. But dropping those 2 guns, allowing the Bulldogs from Shopify to be upgraded into actual guns, I mean, that makes the economy even better for Shopify to make this comeback an actual reality. And, you know, we spoke a lot about experience and etc. One of the biggest indicators of if a team can come back is the experience that they have. I mean, do they have experience coming back? And I mean, they do. They've done this so many times. They've been a team for so long, and some of the players have been playing for so long that it's kind of like what's new, you know? What else can you show? They've seen it all.
Yeah,
they've been there.
You've go on.
Yeah, I mean, they've been there time and time again. They've been there.
They've been able to deal with the litany of possibilities and all of the permutations that is competitive Valorant at its highest point. And so, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, for as much as Shopify have won, and there is something to be said about the fact that when they win big, and it's often with other teams just kind of crumbling before them. The truth is they've also taken their fair amount of losses, not just in Game Changers, but they've done it in every other tournament that they compete in. They have tasted victory and they've tasted defeat. And so when you find yourself in a best of 5 in a grand finals, and you find yourself against a team who is very good in their own right, but that's also pushing you around a little bit, that's not new to them, Dre. I think you're absolutely right. And that's where you see Shopify playing as well as they have. Them being able to convert that third round to, as you mentioned, get the possibility of a comeback online is everything they could possibly ask for. And again, I don't remember the number. I want to say it was 43-2 or 42-3.
It's obnoxious.
The stat that Bala dropped. Mel and Alexis have seen a lot across all of those series. So, I mean, it's not a surprise. I do think on the other side, though, is you think about FlyQuest and really the story that they've taken to get up until this point. It's on a much smaller scale, a microcosm, if you will, compared to the ridiculous history that Shopify have and the players on that team have. But FlyQuest are no strangers to a lot of what's gone on here. Think about the lower bracket run that they've put together.
True.
You don't do that by accident. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they've definitely shown resilience and much more than that. I mean, winning it out cleanly, right? This is the first map. That last map is the first one they lost since lowers.
Yeah.
Or sorry, since the last time they were in uppers, right? So that's obnoxious in itself. That being said, this is a best of 5, and it can be a slow burn. We've mentioned that before. How can they maintain the fire that is Fluorescent and this squad of Shopify? This floor right now, I mean, absolutely heated.
Yeah, that slow burn is very quickly becoming a full raging flame. And it's tough because FlyQuest didn't have very much guns here. I think it was pistols and then 2 marshals, but again, it's another very decisive, very clean round out from Shopify. Yeah, Lace is gonna get in on it here a little bit. Try to tag a couple more with the marshal, but this seems dire, Dre.
Yeah, Lace is getting hunted right now. Keep in mind, this was an eco round from the side of FlyQuest, so not too much of a surprise, but this next round is honestly, it's so important for FlyQuest. Do they get engulfed in the flames of Shopify, or are they going to withstand that fire and cool them down? Because they need to. They need to do anything they can to cool down Shopify right now, cool down Floor right now. And the way to do that is to not give 1v1s. That's what they did a good job of doing on the attacking half, not giving Floor the 1v1s to do anything. We saw Floor with a Guardian take 2 different 1v1s on that bonus round and just absolutely run away with them.
Yeah, hey, she's not going to lose those. She's just not. And so into the next we go. You see guns on both sides. Shopify putting together a ferocious attempt at a comeback. And FlyQuest doing their best to extinguish any hopes and dreams of that. No ult online on the side of the defense, but a couple of members close. Meanwhile, for Shopify, what's the play here? You see the harbor wall go up, the dart go down. A little bit of info found. They're going to rotate away from that. The thing is, FlyQuest are a step ahead of it too. Donut's already halfway across the map.
I wonder if this is going to be a potential double pump. Looks like it's not going to be.
Oh.
With Sarah rotating over. Alarmbot gets up right in time.
Yeah, just on time. Nicely done by Starbound. Fluorescent getting high ground, clearing out the turret. And freezes, instilling paranoia and fear into the opposition. You know Floor's there. It's just a matter of where. And now Floor strikes. Sucker punched by Sonder, though. No real way to respond. And now the Thrash is in play. Not getting the tag, but it doesn't matter. Donut will get the kill. Alexis is left alone. A 1v4. They've gotten the spike down. They're just waiting.
They're so paranoid.
And they know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they just know that it's Alexis who's going to have to force the situation here, even given the fact that the spike is down. You know that FlyQuest are going to be able to strike when the moment is right. So Donut's going to get the defuse, get FlyQuest to 10, and get the res online.
Yeah, a great answer back. Finally, lighting up the server for themselves on this half. Signs of life.
Time to stock back up.
And the retake was clean. The discipline was good. Waiting for the flank from Thea. Probably in that moment was like, just wait. I got it. I got the flank. I'll win the round. That's why you saw everyone from FlyQuest just waiting behind that harbor wall. And I like the idea from Shopify to, split up the site in halves.
Mm-hmm.
But the trades just went the way of FlyQuest. Sonder was so impactful in that kitchen area. Got the Thrash online and everything.
10 and 14 for the Gecko, but it feels like every single kill that Sonder has gotten has been impactful.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday as well. Like, yeah, she's not always at the top of the scoreboard, but the kills that she does accumulate, they have so much impact in the round. They just, seem to win the round. And, oh my gosh, Donut.
And then Sonder.
Freaky
Again,
things.
that dastardly duo is proving to be too much for Shopify. Reckoning dropped from Alexis, but there's still a lot to be accomplished for the attacking side.
And another flank into this round. Right now, FlyQuest just trying to contain and maintain this lead that they have, but they might get picked here. That's a mistake.
That's a massive mistake. But will Shopify punish? Can they convert that into a round win?
Oh,
Starbound, the steady hands of the Sentinel, will get FlyQuest their 11th.
Good recovery from FlyQuest. For a second there, Shopify looked like they could have had a chance to bring this one back off of that kill on Thea, but this flank from Starbound, this engagement, Sarah not able to quite hit the mark. And Starbound's not going to miss. If there's anything we've seen on this map so far, Starbound is not here to be whiffing any type of shots. FlyQuest, they want to bring this one home. They want to win another map that was chosen by Shopify.
Yeah, I think to go back to what you were talking about earlier, I think Starbound has been electric. Not just today. I think about the performance that Starbound put up yesterday. And again, you know, we've talked so much about the lower bracket run that they've put together, 9-0 in maps. They finally lost one just a few moments ago on Ascent after having a perfect bill of health up until this point. It's just been ridiculous, and I think it's been by committee. We've mentioned so many different players at so many different times. You think about Lacing, the performance they had map 1. Thea was almost all we talked about yesterday. This has been such an impressive run from FlyQuest, but once you get this far, you lose here, you kind of forget about every other success you had to get up until this point. And so for FlyQuest to be this close, to be a couple of rounds away from having a series lead over Shopify once again, the perennial powerhouse of VCT Game Changers, like, you can't let this one slip. And Shopify also understanding the same thing, opt to call a timeout, opt to slow things down. You wonder what the call is from Effie's here.
Yeah, I mean, they showed a bunch of different looks. They had success early on in the half, mainly towards that A side of the map with some late lurks. Just no answers back in the last two. It's been clean and decisive for FlyQuest.
A mid strike here with Floor waiting on the other side, and Blades pop. The timing is good, but not a single knife shot. Thea missed her. Oh, but Floor didn't miss Thea. Another member of the defense will fall, but Saunders doing everything she can to hold the line. Donut has res. Thea will come back up. And now weapon upgraded. Thea one away from the pit. And it's going to have to be in the face of another. Lace also very close to having their ult.
This is such a hard retake.
I mean, it's so freaking difficult. A 4v4?
And Hunter's Fury for Sarah to like guarantee the round win as well. I feel like you just go for damage now. Alexis gets taken out by that shock Molly combo. Everyone dropping like flies. Early Hunter's Fury in response.
Sarah patient. Getting a little bit of a tag. That's Mel falling. That's the pit too.
No way.
And Sarah's so far away from the play. Unreal. Oh. Just under 3 seconds. FlyQuest will get to map point.
That was insane. A grueling test of strength, skill, and strategy. It came down to the utility. Honestly, the util combos in the back of yellow, that shock Molly. Instaing Alexis. Allowing for that space to be gathered, allowing multiple entries into that Viper's pit. I thought it was going to be nearly impossible to win that, but after that kill happens, Sarah has to use that Hunter's Fury early on. It forces it out.
Yeah, from so far away.
Yep. There's no follow-up at all off of that. And now, all of a sudden, FlyQuest are full confident, full steam ahead. Running it down into this heaven area. Sonder.
I know there's one here, but Sarah's waiting for reinforcement. Sonder gets 2 there.
Jeez.
Mel's on the trade, but I don't know how she got away with that.
That was nuts. An impressive display of just flicking. So insane. Yeah, it wasn't headshots, but connecting a spray like that.
Now we've got a 3v3 for the rest of the round. Mel is going exploring. The orb goes up. Patience. And she's probably going to be stuck here until she gets enough gas to bring the orb back up. So a little bit of a timing window here for FlyQuest. If they want to explore, this would be the time to do it.
Oh my gosh. Here comes the reclear.
Oh, she doesn't know. Donut had no idea what hit her. Very well played by Mel. We thought it was Mel who was stuck, but it was the other way around.
Yeah.
30 seconds
And so now
left.
Thea and Starbound are left in the round, and they have plenty of money here, so I can't imagine they don't go for this. Especially with Starbound being so close to having their ult online.
Yeah, you definitely should go for this. No doubt in my mind, no doubt in their mind as well. That's why you see them already rotating on over. It's 1v1.
Mel will be the first line of defense.
I don't blame Mel for not wanting to go for this fight. But
Yeah.
at some point you're gonna have to, because Starbound's just running you down.
Now 1 away from the lockdown. A 2v2. The spike has been active for a little while now. Thea will fall. It's all onto Starbound. And again, at this point, even if you don't win the round, the fact that you've got the lockdown for the next works wonders for you. Shopify will have to find a way to navigate that.
Wow. Good cleanup from Shopify into this 3v3 that we saw. Good mid-rounding call from Mel. Getting all the way up tube there. Understanding that there's so many gaps open on the map. The defense have to worry about so much. You take all this space and just hold while your team creeps up forward on A. And you get that kill. It just kind of secures the bigger picture, the larger picture of where you want to actually end. And then when they just group up together like that, it's just too hard at that point to win a 2v3 retake. But I mean, we've seen crazier. That retake from FlyQuest in the previous round was ridiculous.
It was nuts. I was so focused on Starbound getting their ult online, I missed Sonder and Lace having theirs and Thea's.
Yeah, a lot of good keys to lock this one away.
Shopify will have to bust their way through those anyway, or at least attempt to. Not nearly having the same luxury. Yeah, Noya has the lockdown. You imagine it will get invested.
For sure. The question is it going to be a response of Thea? Are they going to is Thea going to use that Viper's Pit off of any type of sound or info gathered here? Well, that drone doesn't hit the mark on floor, but follow-up utility. Mel slips the net. Oh, the shots can't reconvene. Finally does it.
Sonder gets caught. And now the spike getting planted, getting committed. We mentioned that pit. It is up and online. Now they have everything before them. Starbound will fall as Fluorescent tries to take matters in her own hand. I thought she was going to hit that shot, but dashes away.
That looks so close.
Number's still the way of the attack as the lockdown subsides. And now it's on Donut and Lace to retake the space. The face of a Fluorescent who's just been ridiculous up until this point. Noya not able to steady the shots, but finally does. Floor with 3. Shopify get to 9.
So many ults invested from FlyQuest. That's a big W for Shopify. Yeah, the Hunter's Fury was invested. Didn't get much value. That Viper's Pit, I was questioning it. Is it going to be used off of any type of contact? I don't think that's exactly where they wanted to use it. I feel like that side of sight doesn't really do much for you on the defending side.
Right.
Kind of worked against them in that post plant. Just like that, though, Shopify, you have Floor sitting on almost 30. Classic.
Watching here.
That dart doesn't land on anybody in mid. Drone to answer back. Yep.
Yeah. Lace using that pretty early on and getting a fair amount of info. Yeah, it got cleared out. Nobody was tagged, but the info that was gathered there was invaluable. And so that's going to slow Shopify down just a little bit. Forcing to use a drone of their own from Sarah towards 410, towards Nest. I really like how FlyQuest are playing this.
Yeah, they're trying to be proactive in mid, but I think Mel is a step ahead right now. Understanding with no follow-up after that Gecko Flash, you can just take the space. It's probably likely that FlyQuest backed up. And I don't think FlyQuest are aware of this operator as well. Oh, the timing!
Just as Floor takes the crosshair off, Saunders there to punish. And now the Thrash will slow things down even more. Another setback for Shopify.
So crazy how just
left.
a micro change in where the pre-aim was is the difference maker in that round.
For as much as I've talked about how I've loved FlyQuest playing this round, I love what I'm seeing now too. Oh, that wasn't supposed to go that way. Thea gets caught. The spike now planted. A 3v3 potentially to close out the map, and I think 2 really big ults still on the cards for FlyQuest.
If you invest these ults and lose, though, it's gonna feel terrible for you.
Yeah, but do you play to lose? I mean, do you play to win or do you play to not lose? I think that's the decision here for FlyQuest. Mel has been tagged. Mel has been dealt with. And they still have one more to go. Alexis and Noya doing their best to hold the line. Every single thing invested. The covers have been cleared. Forget about the kitchen sink. It's a 2v2 though. Sonder with the op still in hand. As the spike ticks away, it's all on to Noya. The pinks coming through. The spam just off the mark. The swing is there. The kills will happen. The defuse will be clipped. It's 13-9, the way of FlyQuest. Unbelievable close to that map. Dre, I'm at a loss for words, man.
Can't get tighter than that. That was insane. The retake game so far for FlyQuest on that Icebox was immaculate. It was crazy. The post plants, the retakes. These are all the fundamental things that we saw happen in that lower bracket run that FlyQuest do so well. Excuse me.
I know, I
can't
choked
even
up too,
talk.
bro.
I'm
I know.
getting choked up, man.
What a map.
Oh
What a
my
performance. What a best of 5 we've had so
It's
far.
insane.
And folks, we're far from done. We've got more on the other side of this break. We'll be right back.
Every time I needed a new phone, I had to switch carriers.
I told him, at Verizon, everyone can get the best deals. Like that iPhone 15 on them.
Switching all the time, it wasn't easy.
35. You're gonna be here forever.
And do
Here's your wireless contract.
I need a lawyer for this? Those were hard days.
Representative switch.
Now that I got a huge storage and battery upgrade, I'm officially done switching.
New and existing customers get iPhone 15 on us when they trade in any iPhone, any condition, guaranteed.
I really wish you told me sooner.
I did.
Look what I've just made. The perfect pearl.
Not too bad, but check this out.
Whoa, a true Venus clam.
Red Bull gives you wings.